It's the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast with Alex Trataros, John Meleka, and Raisi on the beat. Let's go.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Alex Trataros here with another Jets episode of the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. And with me, as always, my buddy, my cousin, pal, the man of the plan, the one and only John Meleka. And with us today, as always, the man has been a rock for this podcast, for this channel. Our video producer, Greg. What up, Greg? What up, John? Guys, how we? Did the Jets just have a fourth quarter comeback today? Did I just watch that right?
Because Zach Wilson's first.
With Zach Wilson? Did I just watch that? Did I see Corey Davis be key? Yo, Rich Cimini, shut up with these trade Corey Davis talks, all right? This is why we have multiple weapons on the field, so we can get stuff done out here, all right? Let's go. Let's fucking go. That's what I'm talking about today. Because let me tell you guys, to start off, I was looking down bad in the third quarter. I was like, are we really doing this? We're going to have Pickett come out of here. The Steelers are just going to get riled up because we see a rookie quarterback. We always see the quarterback change. You thought this was going to be like another Baker Mayfield moment where they bench Tyrod Taylor and then you have Baker come in and you're like, serious? This is how we feeling today? Word? We have dumb penalties as always by our veterans. Our veterans, man. Why do our veterans have to do this? But regardless, Zach Wilson is him. I don't want to hear any of this nonsense. John, we have a good team, to go to your point. I said he needed an offseason. This kid comes out in the fourth quarter and delivers. Pinpoint precision. I wish he still connected on that wheel route to our running back. But, hey, he did what he needed to do. Gentlemen, how you guys feeling? Let me hear your takes. John, you, man. Let's hear what you got to say first.
Yo, I mean, I'm loving this season. So we only just ended week 4 for the New York Jets. I love this season so much because we've been up for 38 seconds, and they happen to be 22 seconds at the end of the game and 16 seconds at the end of the game where we're able to bleed out and have these types of conversations. Because if I could just like compartmentalize my phone like from the first 4 quarters of all of these games together, like the Jets are not even worthy to be like an FCS team. It's hilarious. Like at some point today, Max Mitchell gets hurt, which our whole season now depends on our 4th round pick. So Max Mitchell gets hurt. We have Elijah Vera Tucker at tackle, Nate Herbig at guard. I mean, we're looking tough, but I do like McDermott at right tackle, I must say.
You're forced to like him. Whether you like it or not, you got it.
So, like, it's just so funny. Like, the juxtaposition of how our feelings go just based on outcomes. Like, it's literally wins or losses that makes the outcome, because we played, like, absolute garbage today. Like, you talking about Zach Wilson, and I know we're going to remember that last drive, and it was amazing. The fourth quarter was amazing, but he went 18 for 36.
Yeah, it was not a pretty overall game. It was not a pretty overall game. It was not a pretty overall game for anybody today, to be fair. But you know what?
We got the win. No,
we got the win. He showed it when he needed to show up. I can't ask for more.
He has to shut his mouth, and I have to shut my mouth about Corey Davis, to be honest with you. I mean, he was the blanket. Like, Greg, before we get into this game, what are your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I think it has to be the most wins for the least amount of time, up in a game through 4 games in the history of the NFL. It's insane that we're winning with seconds left in the game. Dude, we're 2-2 through our first 4 games, just like we wanted to be. We got our September win. We beat Mitch Trubisky.
Let's go.
We held off Kenny Pickett.
October, bro. We got to win in October.
Dude, it's insane. It was an incredible game in the fourth quarter. The first 3 quarters, like we all talked about, weren't fantastic. The third quarter was strikingly bad, especially to Alex's point, big-time Baker Mayfield vibes. I was shook. I was upset. But Kenny Pickett, he threw into some double coverage. We were able to make plays. Like, our defense, our safeties, Joyner got the pick at the end of the game, too.
And he was playing well in the whole game. Like,
Yeah,
he
was
had a
playing
really
well.
good plays today.
Whitehead had an interception. Whitehead had some plays. Like, there's maybe some vibes changing here. The seasons are changing a little bit. It's getting a little cooler. Maybe the defense starts playing a little better. So Zach Wilson showed me everything I needed to see in his first game back. The rust was there for sure to start, but fourth quarter got the drive going twice. It was a must score drive in the middle of the fourth quarter. He converted a big third down, then he converted a fourth down. He was doing what he needed to do, so I was very happy for him. It looked like he was, in maybe not midseason form, but definitely the rust was off by the end of the game, and he was ready to go that fourth quarter. So very happy from what I saw from the Jets today.
For sure. I mean, I'm so happy I had to make sure I chose the right seltzer with like a green top to represent the win for today, But, look, Zach Wilson came out of this game. Well, let's get into this, guys. Let's start off with this offense just because defense still has to clean some things up, but offensively,
4 interceptions, bro.
Interceptions. No.
What do you want?
Our secondary on point. We're not complaining about the secondary. Front seven, CJ Mosley, Carl Lawson, making some boneheaded, plays that's costing us yards, giving us penalties. We can't be having that type of stuff. The front seven, John, how is it that we've gone in here and we're like, oh, the front seven is gonna be fine. The front seven is gonna be fine. I'm not sure I'm so comfortable about this front seven right now, but we're gonna have that conversation later in the pod. Let's start off with Zach Wilson, 18 for 36 today. He went 50%. Not bad. As we talked about, first half he was a little all over the place. Even the third quarter was all over the place. But he ended the day with 18 for 36, 252 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, one which is his fault. The second one, I put it 50-50. 50 being Zach Wilson. You can't throw it that high when the guy's wide open. You can't be that jittery throwing it that high to Tyler Conklin. Conklin, you got to catch that, bro. It's tip drills for Minkah Fitzpatrick out there, and it's like, okay, cool. John, you got your prop bet for today, man. You called the Minkah Fitzpatrick interception. I hope you put money down on it. My God.
He should have had 2, and one of those should have been a pick 6.
Oh, yeah.
He completely lucked out on that. And honestly, once he got hurt, that's when the Jets, sparked their runs. I really don't think that's a coincidence at all.
Yeah, man, for sure. And then we keep going down. Well, let's stick with actually Zach Wilson. What did you guys think about his overall play? I think it was just shaky in the first half. Greg, you said he came back, broke off that rust. I mean, I go back to that swing route I think he still should have had, but regardless, dude was coming up clutch on third downs, finding Corey Davis, finding was it the comeback touchdown that we had to get us back in this game? He goes Garrett Wilson over the middle. Then he gets Corey Davis over the middle. Corey Davis over the middle again for that TD. Like, dude, fantastic precision throwing over the middle. The Steelers today, the way this game should have gone, because it was for Zach, just he did solid for the most part, checking it down, but over the middle, Steelers are just leaving it wide open for him. Wide open.
Yeah, so I know this whole narrative, and I'm glad that I'm glad for it, but I know the whole narrative is going to be Zach Wilson come back first week, on the road now Jets are 2-0 on the road, and he comes back and he gets a comeback win. The Jets are the comeback kings, and Zach Wilson did amazing, and he really beefed up his stat line because it was looking terrible. But to be honest, I guess I got to give him the most credit for sticking in this game until the fourth quarter. Like, I know he did amazing in the fourth, and I know he didn't do great, but dude, Elijah Vera Tucker was our last year was our rookie left guard. He did amazing. This year we changed him to a right guard for no reason because we
Everyone's
signed
getting
someone else
shuffled.
who was older. And then today he was our left tackle. Like, that's crazy. Now McDermott back to our right tackle. Like I mentioned, Nate Herbig is our guard. Dude, the fact that Zach Wilson coming off, I mean, I don't really want to talk about this, but I guess I'll just mention it. Like, this whole, he should have got a full meniscus surgery, decided to go for not for the full repair, but for the cleanup. Like, you decide that thing within surgery because, like, you have to open up your knee and see it. I don't know. It just seems like a little fairy tale-ish to me. But either, regardless, he did not even for 1 second give me a, oh my goodness, is this guy hurt vibe at all.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. His knee looked great. His vibes look good too. Like, he wasn't scared. I was a little nervous about that, to be honest with you. Like, if he looks scared in the pocket, like as if he's scared his knee's gonna blow out, it's over. You know what I mean? It really would have been over. But he looked fine even when there was literally no offensive line. I'm hyped about Zach Wilson. He was able to find his crutches. Apparently, Conklin is just the crutch of the team. Like, when you need somebody, you go to Conklin, whether it's Flacco, whether it's Wilson. Elijah Moore got in early in this game. So I'm glad he was part of the actual game plan. That excites me. Garrett Wilson bailed them out, like you said. Corey Davis bailed us out, like you said. That's all good. I'm kind of pissed about Michael Carter. That like the fact that he stepped up a little bit and gave that false start, and it should have been his touchdown.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be really costly too. That was really annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like we should have done a little bit better on the ground to help him out, but we had no offensive line, so. Breece Hall getting 17 carries for 66 yards is fantastic with no offensive line. Like that's amazing for me. Michael Carter didn't really have a chance to get into this game, but I see why. They need someone else to block, to pass block. So I'm hyped about Zach Wilson, dude. Zach is back. This is a huge game for us because, like we said, next week coming home versus Miami, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be, so that could be a big deal. But this was big for us, man. We could not come home. I know this is the positive day. It's a positive podcast, but we could not have come home 1-3 with Zach Wilson like looking like he did today. Minus, those last couple of drives. That's why this is so funny. Like it's so funny because
the script could have easily flipped.
In my life, Alex, it's usually in my dreams, in my hypotheticals, when nobody wants to listen to me, the Jets are 2-4. I'm like, bro, we should have won this game. This was ridiculous. We should have won this game. Like, we should have been 2-4, but we're really 0-4. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh,
you mean 2-2. You mean 2-2.
No, but I'm saying in general, like we would usually in past Jets seasons, we would be 0-4 or 1-3, and we would all these losses. All these, crazy wins that are going our way would never go our way. We would get the blowout versus Cincinnati. Yep. There's no way we win versus the Browns, and there's no way we win this game.
That's a fact.
Like, we would just get all these losses, and then I'd be like, dude, if you just watch the game, I promise you, we're like 2 stupid plays away from winning, and we actually got them. So it's just so funny, like seeing that finally the opposite side where we're 2-2 here.
Oh, that's a fact.
We got the silly wins. I mean, what's the over on the Jets, wins now, right? Like we shouldn't even be where we are now. We are 2-2 versus the AFC North, and we're finally gonna play a division team next week. So I am so hyped that we've gotten over the road woes. We finally have a quarterback. We have Dwayne Brown coming off IR next week, and I promise you, if this guy does not play after passing a physical and sitting out for a month, I'm gonna literally lose my mind. So I need Dwayne Brown at left tackle. And shout out to Elijah Vera Tucker. Like every time anyone mentions Zach Wilson now, they just have to say Elijah Vera Tucker. Like I feel like that is now mandatory.
Oh my God. You know what's funny? So my nephew's here right now, and we were watching the game together. He's a Jets fan too, and he's like, I had to stop watching the Jets because it's always the same dumb mistakes every single time. The penalties, the inability to close in the fourth quarter. You just never watch this team play four quarters of football. Now we're watching this team play 4 quarters of football, and he's out here stunned. He's like, oh, and half the game, he's like, yeah, this is typical fashion. Stupid penalties at the wrong moment, not making the plays when we need to make them. I'm like, this is the life of a Jets fan. But yeah, you come back, then you watch the fourth quarter, and we're in it for that. Isn't pretty wins. A win's a win, but at the same time, the more I'm watching this team, it's like, if this is the way it's going to go, this is the way it's going to go, right? Like, if this is how you're going to grow as a team, like, you have to be able to have, like, these fourth quarter comebacks. That's showing, like, a growth to some extent as a football team. So, does it stink that we suck in the third quarter? John, this is just like the Knicks, like last season. Every time it gets to the third quarter, we're watching disaster happen. We've only scored 3 points through 4 games. We've only scored 3 points. 3 points. Every time it's just, like, mistakes, stupid penalties, whether it's our fault or not, or the refs just doing us dirty. Whatever, we're just 3 and outs, punting most of the time. These third quarters are looking gross. But Greg, your feelings on Zach Wilson because you were like last week, you're like, I don't know if he's good or not. He could either throw 4 interceptions today or throw 4 touchdowns. By the way, it started from 3 to 3, then to 4 to 4 the last episode. I'm just making sure I'm adjusting the line for you, Greg. I'm just making sure I'm adjusting for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that excluding the fourth quarter, we saw a lot of rust. I think in the fourth quarter he came up big. That's why we're all so excited. Looking at the drives and stuff like that, what I was excited to see too is like not a ton of 3-and-outs for us today. Like we were able to get a couple things going. The offense was able to find some rhythm. I was a little confused by the amount of trick plays we were running in the first half. Like
we're all about the trick play life.
Going into the bag, man.
We almost had a disaster with one. And it's like, dude, our quarterback's hurt. He has a meniscus injury. He just got back. Why are we running trick plays with him? Why are we throwing the ball to him? I mean, it was a nice Philly special.
Dude, Philly was beautiful, Greg. I don't care what you say.
I love it. I'm happy for it. But, like, we have other players on this team besides Zach Wilson. It seemed like Zach Wilson came back. It's like, all right, let's make sure the ball's in his hands for 90% of this game. Like, that kind of threw me off a little bit. But, dude, like I said, once he knocked the rust off, once he got going, to John's point, he never looked like he was scared about getting injured. He never looked like the moment was too big for him, which was great to see for the future. And I think it's just a step in the right direction. If he can stay healthy and he can keep playing games like this. There was at one point today, I don't know what the score was in the Baltimore game at one point, but the Baltimore was up a ton. There was a chance that we were playing Miami next week for the lead in the division if the Bills lost. And we're all screaming about this and that. There was a chance we were up in the division. It's not going to happen now because the Bills ended up making a comeback. But still, I like what I saw from Zach Wilson. To me, it's about, and I think Richie talked about it on the Knicks episode last week, it's about the future. This is our first game of seeing Zach Wilson. This whole season's about what do we have with Zach Wilson. I think the fourth quarter showed us we have good things to build on. Can we get a full game of it now? Can we get the whole thing the whole time to sustain it and not suck in the third quarter? I mean, the third quarter has been a real problem for us. You guys talked about it. I agree about it. So we got to get that going. We got to have a full second half where we can play good football.
What's funny is that coming to this game, when John and I spoke to Tommy Jagai, we were like, oh, we got to get the running game going. Steelers defense is terrible against the run. And next thing you know, John talked about we're down tackles. We're moving Elijah Vera Tucker over the place now. Everyone's getting swapped in and out playing tackle. Breece Hall today was our best one with 17 carries for 66 yards and a TD. Michael Carter had 9 carries for 15 yards. Wasn't a good day for him, but it was rough, man, trying to watch this, and partially due to the fact that we don't have an O-line. Like when you start like subbing guys out and you don't have that,
it has to be the most injured line in all football.
Facts, man.
I haven't looked that up. We'll look it up for the next episode.
With the most money spent, but the most injured at the same time. It's okay. We're top 5 in 2 categories. It's all good. It is what it is.
You win some, you lose some.
We get no sympathy for the Dwayne Brown one. We can't. I can't get over this. I can't get over signing.
What bothers you more, John? What bothers you more? Is it Trumaine Johnson contract or Dwayne Brown passing the physical?
God, I'm gonna throw up. I mean, Dwayne Brown can still be good, so it's always gonna be Trumaine Johnson. Jerk.
Okay.
But it's just I'm more mad about the Jets. Just being so callous about this left tackle situation. But anyway, I know we spent a lot of money on paper, but did we? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Are we getting the ROI on this? We don't know.
We better we better not go into MetLife next week with Elijah Vera Tucker at left tackle. That's all I'm saying. That can't happen.
Dude, can we actually win a game at MetLife and against a divisional rival? Can we do that?
Listen, I'm going to be there, so probably not. I don't think I was joking around with someone last week. I mentioned it. I can't remember the last time the Jets won at home and I was there. Like I literally cannot remember.
I may have to drive down, or Greg has to drive down, and we're gonna have to just tie you up, leave you in your house, man, so that way we don't have this bad juju at MetLife. I don't know.
As if it's my fault that the Jets suck. Yeah, that's all me, bro. 4 interceptions last year. Zach Wilson versus Patriots. That was my fault. Anyway, shout out to Conklin for at least getting that fumble, even though it wasn't a fumble. Breece Hall reached over the line. I was ready to go crazy if they didn't call that a touchdown. I know they didn't at first. But if they officially did not call that a touchdown and we couldn't challenge it because of the last 2 minutes of the game, dude, I would have went crazy.
I was worried for a second. It was giving me, again, we're talking about flashbacks of Baker Mayfield. It was giving me flashbacks. It was against the Patriots, where we fumbled into the end zone. I thought it was gonna be some weird shit like that.
That touchdown.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I was like, did he advance it into the end zone?
ASJ.
Yeah.
Austin Safarian Jenkins. I was there for that game too. Is that my fault too?
I don't know. Depends who you ask.
Yes.
But yeah. So that was another flashback moment. And palms started getting sweaty. Like, did we just blow this game because we fumbled into the end zone, but it wasn't really in that zone?
I know it didn't touch back, thank God. But
Yeah.
no, I'm hyped that
God.
Conklin's finally picking up. Well, Max Mitchell's hurt now, dude. I really hope this isn't serious.
Yeah, we don't
Didn't
know
look
what
great.
it is, right?
Yeah, we
Did
don't know
not
what
look
it is.
great. Let's switch over to this defense here because, as always, CJ Mosley leading the Jets on with tackles. Greg's favorite stat.
He let
It's so
us,
funny here.
dude. He
It's
also
so funny.
missed.
He had no help, and I now know who Marcel Davis is.
Yeah.
Marcel Harris. All right.
Harris, yeah, 36.
I now know who he is. It's 2 games now. Now he's just my linebacker.
Oh man,
It
What do you
won't,
guys
show,
think?
dude.
it won't show
What
up
do
in the stat lines too, but there was one play I was thinking about texting you guys, but I was like, I just can't pile on CJ Mosley this bad. It was
Sure
a
you
pass.
can.
It was a pass out to the right side. It was the easiest interception I've ever seen, and he just lets it be a completion. He just can't play the ball. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
He's
come
not
on.
gonna jump a route, but
It was over his shoulder. It was just right here.
Uh,
It was right here.
not non-Jets related, but the Honey Badger, the way he sniped that interception today was
Yeah.
crazy in the morning. I don't know where he came from, but if we could
Dude.
have that'd be really cool. But if we're talking about safeties getting interceptions, dude, Joyner, 2 interceptions. The last one, if you want to
Whitehead.
call it stupid, but I was freaking out when that ball's in the air. I was legitimately freaking
Dude.
out. That ball's in the air, so that for me counts. 4 interceptions. The Michael Carter one, we didn't mention that yet.
Yo, Michael Carter, MC squared, baby.
Huge.
MC squared coming out here doing his thing. Love it. Dude, did DJ Reed actually get the communication that he wanted across through the secondary and on defense in general? Because 4 interceptions, thankfully we had a rookie quarterback and Pickett out there today, and you also had the I still can't believe this man is actually playing Mitch Trubisky out there.
He's not
Because
anymore, bro.
I know he's not. I know he's done because I can't even like. I did. We asked that too. Did we expect Pickett to come in here with Tommy on the episode? And he was like, "No, I don't think this was the time for him to come in." He did come in, so look at that. The kid's a gamer. Kid's got something going on. I'll give that to the Steelers. Pickett's got something going on. I like the way he stood, especially that one touchdown that he had. I forget who it was to. Stood up in the pocket, took a hit, just beelined it over the middle of the field.
No,
But this is
he's
a Jets
nice.
podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
he had 2 runs in, right?
he did. He had 2 runs, so they got it down to like the 2-yard line, and then he was
It
able
was
to
to
run it in.
Pickens, I think.
I think it was to Pickett. Yo, Pickens also nasty. Got it.
The Pickens connection is gonna ruin media for a long time, but I'm okay
PP.
with it. We've gotten over the AFC North. We could let them rock for a little bit. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, he's nasty. They were showing his Georgia highlight where he just caught that ball, just like Odell Beckham that thing. I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
we
that
have to
was
go
cool.
against this guy. That was cool. But yo, defense today, the secondary played well, man. Gotta give it to them. They did a good job. Front 7, it just comes down to being zoned in, man. Like the Carl Lawson and CJ Mosley, like I don't get why our vets are causing these penalties and just giving up yards, man, because this is where it's really frustrating. You're in this game, especially the Lawson, the roughing the passer before the half.
Dude, that was
That was
bad.
dumb. That was dumb. Like that
We get
was
one every game
completely
now,
dumb. We get at least one every game.
huh?
But it's like,
Nice.
why? Like why we stopped them on that play. As you said, John, we would not have to be in this territory of like playing from behind if that didn't happen. And then you have CJ Mosley giving up first downs because he wants to just start diving when a guy's already going down. This stuff just makes no sense. This is where I have a gripe where this is same old Jets as in like not being there. Like you have Corey Davis last week, you have Carl Lawson. I forget if it was like last week or 2 weeks ago. It's just we can't have our vets who are supposed to be leaders of this team losing it. Like you're supposed to be setting an example for the guys like how to stay cool, calm, and collected and just perform. What your game do you're talking. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for.
Listen, Lawson had his 4 weeks grace period off his injury. It's time for Carl Lawson to rock. At home, coming home, at MetLife versus division. It's time. It didn't happen versus Cincy. It was early. Didn't happen this week. He had a bad play. It's next week is the week for him. So I'm excited about the prospects of this team. Speaking about defense, they're getting lucky. They're getting lucky against who they're playing on defense, man. We had Jacoby Brissett, and we had Mitch Trubisky, and we might not get Tua. So we just have to capitalize on these opportunities and stack these wins, even if they're not meaningful in the way that you want to be like, oh my goodness, the Jets weren't dominant in this game. It wasn't meaningful. Like, joking around, this isn't the BCS. This isn't college football where, how you win or how the game looked or how close it was or the ranking of the other opponent. It does not matter at all right now. What matters is stacking wins. Like you said, Greg, we were one crazy play in Baltimore from playing for the division next week against Miami.
Yeah.
So and without their starting quarterback. So with the Jets, they have to get a division win. They have to get a division win, and they have to win at home. This is a perfect way to just remedy these very silly struggles that we have. We finally got over our road woes. But dude, hell of a game, man. I'm hyped that we kind of cut up Arthur Mollett. That kind of made me feel good inside. Corey Davis on one of those throws. Garrett Wilson had that huge play. You know what I'm really excited about Zach Wilson about? It's probably not going to be mentioned much, but that Corey Davis wasn't fourth down. It must have been like a third down or something, but the clock was running. It was one of the last plays when the ball clearly hit the ground, but it was questionable whether it would have been a catch or not, because it definitely hit the ground, but I don't know if there was much movement in it. So it would have been a question, but Zach Wilson was good enough to get all the way down there. And the offensive line, this rookie makeshift offensive line, actually get a playoff.
Yeah.
And without a flag, because if you get the flag, then the play doesn't count, and then the clock keeps going, and then they can still review it. So it would have been an absolute disaster. So little plays like that.
Awareness,
same
man.
Old Jets to me, though. That same old Jets. Like that would have been a flag. That would have been a false start. Lose 10 seconds off the clock, and it gets reviewed and brought back. That, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we have some things figured out here. We're starting to pass to a tight end. He just, dude, I know he's like I see it all over the NFL too. Finally, the Jets have caught up. Tight end is a big deal on offense. At some point, I'm just waiting for a perfect game from our tight end. Like today, we had not only the interception, but also like that he dropped a touchdown, or was it a first down? I can't remember anymore. I think it was it wasn't a touchdown. It was definitely a first down.
I think it was a first down.
Yeah, it was like it was behind him.
Yep, it was behind him. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like, come on, just can we just have a perfect game? No fumbles, no interceptions from the tight end, like no drops. Like, let's just have a clean 7-target game. You know what I'm saying? Like 6 catches
for a lot,
80 yards and a touchdown. Like, I'm just waiting for that. I don't need TJ Hawkinson numbers. You know what I mean? I just need normal tight end numbers, which would be fantastic. But dude, 2-2. You're asking me how I'm feeling right now? We're 2-2. We are. For the first time ever, I'm happy with the phrase, we are what our record says we are, because we don't deserve to be here at all. I'm glad we're 2-2. I hope we don't take it for granted. I don't see how we could take it for granted. We haven't
Jets
been
fans
winning,
are not taking this for granted, man. We are not taking it for granted.
enough in an actual football game to be confident. You know what I mean? To be like, oh, the Jets are going to look ahead. They got a couple of wins. No. We're going to look ahead to Green Bay in 2 weeks. No, dude, we haven't been winning in actual football game on offense. So, we'll see, man. Let's get a left tackle. All right. Let's get a linebacker. All right. That would be nice. And let's try to pick up some wins. I'm really wondering if we start stacking some wins, the Jets are gonna make a move around the NFL to grab a real veteran on the defense. That's where we actually need help. Because obviously nobody has a tackle to spare. Those are my thoughts about this game. I'm hyped, man. I'm really happy we won this game, dude. It changes everything. Now I'm going to Miami. the Miami game at MetLife, and things are obviously looking up. Like, how can things look down at all besides something bad happens during the practice week? And then after that, I'm going to Green Bay. Even if we lose by 50 to Miami, I'm still going to Green Bay, so everything is fine. Like, I'm still going to Lambeau. So right now everything's looking good. If we can beat Miami, dude, oh man, if we're over 500 going into Lambeau, that's, if you go back to our first episode, that's all I was begging for. That's literally it. That's all I was begging for, was just to be over 500.
John may be caught streaking, man. He might be on the street streaking
into Green Bay, and it's actually possible. People told me I was crazy. People told me the season is going to be over by the Green Bay game. I didn't doubt them too much. Like, I was pissed about it, but that's why it hurt, because it could almost be true. But
they told me I was crazy. They didn't have faith in me. They didn't believe it.
We could almost beat our over-under by week 7, bro. It's crazy.
What a world. All I need is for this front seven to come back, because, look, man, there's no way I need to be seeing 119 yards on the ground, okay? And all we got today was, pretty sure we didn't even get that many pressures on the quarterback. I think we got 6 pressures. Yeah, we got 6 pressures on the quarterback, 3 sacks.
Jermaine Johnson, shout out.
Jermaine Johnson, he's been looking solid. I mean, we got one from Austin today as well. But look, this is supposed to be our bread and butter. I'm gonna need a little bit more.
I think we finally just gotta change tunes, man. We were sold something. We were sold a lot of things. All right, we were sold that our linebackers were good. We were sold that we had the best safeties in the world. They kind of bought in today. We were sold that our D line's unreal. It's just not. Our cornerbacks are unreal. That's kind of being undersold, but our D line just isn't. We have a mediocre defensive line. Let's just live with it. And I don't think we're not like too much invested in it where we're too top heavy. Like, the big contracts are going to be able to get off our books next year, so we're cool with it. The young guys, like you said, are good. I'm kind of pissed that Clemens didn't really get into this game. I really felt like Clemens was going to like put a big one on Mitch Trubisky. Like, I was waiting for that one big play where it's like, all right, Mitch Trubisky, meet this guy we got named Michael Clemens. But that never happened. I'm glad we stuck to the math, man. Pittsburgh sucks against the run. We ran the ball a lot. Zach Wilson came through in the end. Let's go. Let's go to MetLife. Let's get a damn win. We win ugly. I'm down to win ugly again. We want to be that annoying team that wins every 10 seconds at the end. I forgot if it was an NFL or a college football team that was doing that for like 8 weeks in a row. Was it like Penn State last year or something? I remember.
I have no idea.
Greg, I don't know if you. I don't know. There was like a team that was getting lucky every single week, like in a row, and it was just like, oh, like, is it luck, or is the luck just become part of the game? Like, is the Jets' luck just become part of the game, or are we just the comeback kings? Like, you better be up by 4 possessions in the fourth quarter if you want to beat the Jets.
Let me tell you something. If I catch more fourth quarter comeback wins this season from the Jets, I will be insufferable. All over the place.
I'm telling you, if we keep this up, it's gonna be like, all right, like 2 possessions, fourth quarter, like we're good, like no problem.
We're still in this game, which would be an odd thing to say.
It's gonna be an odd thing to
say. Greg, what are your final words before we get out of here?
One thing John talked about last week at some point was he feels like when he's watching the Jets game, he's not sure if it's a trend over the league or if it's just us, that the ball's on the ground a lot of fumbles. I don't think we had a fumble today. There was the one that was a little close at the end, right, with Breece Hall, but it ended up not really counting. So Pittsburgh fumbled a couple times, so like that's great to see. Turnovers we talked about with Zach Wilson, not his fault, some his fault, still getting the rust off. But dude, to me, the biggest thing we have to address going forward, yes, there's positional issues we have. To me, it's the penalties. We have to stop beating ourselves. Like we're in a bad spot. We're on our 10th offensive lineman this year. It feels like our linebackers are beat up as well. Like we have to play better. So especially from the veterans, but overall, we have to stop beating ourselves. If we don't beat ourselves with penalties, like I think there's a chance we're in every single game this year so far. So let's
especially against Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati and even Baltimore. I feel like there was some boneheaded plays that just allowed them to extend the drives and extend it. We don't have a team that can do that. Like we have to take our shots. We have to make plays. Like when we need a conversion, we have to get it. And Zach Wilson was able to do that today. We're not like the Buffalo Bills or some of these like superstar teams that just can, all right, we didn't get it this drive, we can get it again next drive. Like, no, we have to make it work. So cut out the penalties, stop being ourselves. Overall, I thought the play calling was okay. Like I said, the trick plays kind of worried me a little bit in the first half. Like, like
listen, they're working every game, bro. We listen at this point. Without the Philly, we can't win this game. To be honest with you, and without a fourth down, punt, 17-yard throw by Brady Man to Jeff Smith, plus an onside kick, and Greg DeLike saving our ass, dude. He has saved us game to game to game.
Yeah, special teams has been good. I don't know if I count like a fake. I don't know if I count a fake punt like as a trick play. Maybe it is, but
what do you mean? That's the most trick play.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I guess I'm talking about more like the pass backwards, the fake this, the over here. Like, dude.
Speaking about passing backwards, how about that defense playing like it was rugby out there, trying to get the touchdown?
Dude,
yeah.
If that happened, saying, oh no. Every time they go.
If that happened today, if we got a touchdown off of like playing rugby out there, some schoolyard ball, woo. But you know what?
The Bears almost tried to do it too on the Giants.
Yeah.
They had to go for a while. Just the longer it goes, the more the anxiety builds up so fast. Like it's such a slow pour in the beginning. You're like, okay, this is so dumb. This is going nowhere. And the longer it takes, it just goes. You're just like, oh god, like this is crazy. No one's like Justin Fields threw it. I don't talk about the Giants Bears, but he threw it across the field, like 7 laterals in. I was like, oh god, like this is good.
Yeah,
like, they're gonna score.
That's dumb. But yo, shout out to, first of all, special teams has been on point to Greg's point, but shout out to Jets social media for keeping it down today, saying, give him the Nike got him with the black Air Force Ones. Yo, talk about being trendy, on point with the robbery sneakers out there. I love it. I love everything about it, man. That's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. But yo, Jets got that win. We're fourth quarter. What, Princes right now? Because until we can't be
kids, baby.
Comeback kids. We're the comeback kids. All right, we're going from kids.
That.
We gotta get to Prince. We gotta get to Kings. Once we start winning some more games in the fourth quarter from comeback, then we'll get the comeback Kings.
Bro, if it's Teddy Two Gloves, we cannot lose to Teddy Two Gloves.
These nicknames out of nowhere.
We just cannot. We cannot lose.
Eddie Double Doink Pinheiro. Talk about the Vikings losing on a double doink.
Listen. I'm not gonna put on my tinfoil hat.
Not here. Vikings, Saints. The Saints was in.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I know they have the craziest games ever, especially with the endings.
I'm
not
gonna
put on my tinfoil hat, but yo, they like the field goal line is just like the end zone line. Like if the ball if the tip of the ball like goes through, like just like scrapes through, that counts. Like why can't we just see? Like I'm happy with the outcome of the game. I just like, why couldn't we just see where that ball went? Like if it crossed at any point while it was spinning, it's 3 points.
It counts, yeah.
It was just so I was like waiting for it. But if that was the Jets, I would have been going crazy right now.
Where's the camera angle?
If I was in London too and that happened to me, I would be going nuts. And we lost on a double doink, but it's funny, like at maybe 2:30 p.m. around halftime, I was like, yo, this is a boring Sunday. This ended up being
This is like, fall weather for you. What are you talking about? This is your favorite type of weather.
It was just boring football. Like all the games are boring. It was the endings ended up being crazy, and the Jets crazy comeback. So shout out to the Jets. We are going to be playing for the division, but soon. Because we got Buffalo coming down the pipe.
One step at a time, John.
Don't worry, Greg.
Let's get the Dolphins. Let's get the Dolphins first at home.
All right.
Division win at home.
That if we're 3-2, man.
I'll be there with New York Jets media, Richie, one from our last episode. He'll be on all week on his YouTube, just yelling. I can't wait for next week.
It's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. Well, thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in for the Jets episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. Go out there and celebrate. All right, celebrate. We got to win. We're 2-2, man. 2-2 in October. What? Haven't felt this way in quite some time. I guess, John, you got to be extra happy because you got Greg and I feeling optimistic this season. We're like in good mood, good spirits.
It's just funny. It's just funny because we've been up for 38 seconds. It's just hilarious because, like, again, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. Like,
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Like,
It's funny.
People being optimistic about the Jets is hilarious to me at this point. I am. That's the mood I'm in because number 38 seconds, like any optimism you say, like, oh, Zach, look this and this looked great here. I'm just like, okay, yeah, like we got so lucky to win anything. Otherwise, it'd be who are we drafting? Like, oh my goodness, Bryce Young is hurt. Like, who are the Jets gonna draft now next year?
CJ
Is Zach
Stroud
Wilson
stinks.
CJ Stroud stinks, Ohio State. You know, is Sam Hartman? Are we gonna take him Heisman plus 4,000? That would be the conversation right now. So I'm glad it's not. I'm glad
But it's not.
Glad you guys are optimistic.
Exactly.
Let's go. So thank you everyone for tuning in for the Jets episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. You all know what to do. If you listen to this podcast and you haven't already done so, please make sure to subscribe. We're on all audio listening platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Alexa, Stitcher, you name it. We are there. If you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, please make sure to give us that 5-star rating. And if you listen to us on Apple, please make sure to leave a review or comment. We're also partnered with Fanside and Minute Media, so you can find this podcast on the Jet Press or the Daily Knicks. Also, we got that YouTube page. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. Period. Subscribe.
Nobody writes it out. That's just crazy.
That's just wild. That's just wild. No one writes out, etc. Find the page, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you know when a new episode drops. Come on, people. This is free stuff. All this stuff is free. If you like if you like the content that you're hearing, you want to help us out, just subscribe. It helps us out to keep putting out more content and adding to the channel. So please make sure to subscribe on any platform. That could be Spotify, Apple, like I just mentioned, or YouTube. Please make sure to do so. Also, when you watch a video over at that YouTube channel, please make sure to hit the like button and to leave a comment. Add to the conversation. What do you guys think about this Jets win? Come on. You hyped? John's uncle, you hyped? Come on, man. You hyped?
Yeah,
How are you feeling?
Latest.
You don't have to. You don't have to waste your Sundays right now when you're 2-2 in October.
It's so funny. This has become like a little end segment here. But he texted me today. He goes, "Why am I mad that they won?" I said, "I don't know. Why are you mad?" And he said, "I'm actually mad at myself for being mad. I feel like I worked a double shift, and that's what it is. That's what it is. Watching these cardiac Jets right now, man. Like you gotta wait until the last." Under a minute. That's the only time we're allowed to be winning in this game. Haven't had an offensive snap yet when we're winning, so I get it.
At least we won, John. At least we were leading in the first half. That's what you could say. Well, at least we led in the first half.
That was we tried our hardest not to. We really tried our hardest not to, but yeah, we somehow got out there 10-6.
Holy cow, the third quarter, man. If we could just get the third quarter under wraps, we'll be a better football team. But last and certainly not least, there's another podcast on this YouTube channel that's also partnered with Minute Media. That's Winning Picks Weekly. John, video producer Greg, and our guys and co-host Chip Murphy. These guys go through every sport possible. It's college football and NFL season, as you already know. If you need to put money down on the line, these guys got you covered. These guys are doing a bang. These guys are doing great, man. All right, John's out there killing it. Greg's killing it. Chip's killing it. Just go on Twitter, follow these guys. These guys are talking about. These guys are tweeting out all their. Look, man, Chip's about to turn it around. I'm telling you right now.
He's about to get hot.
He's about to get hot. I feel it, man. He's about to get hot.
Yeah, Winning Peak Weekly, Alex. I was up till 3 a.m. last night watching Stanford versus Oregon, Alex. I was trying my hardest to will a win. Couldn't get it.
I can't believe you got it at 18, bro. We're going to talk about that.
That's yesterday I got it. It was a bad number.
Yo. And then you put out your picks again for the Vikings early in the morning.
Yeah, 4:30.
I was like, this guy's got to go to sleep, man. Go to bed. But now, last and certainly not least, please make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Another way you can help us out for free, okay? Make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Knicks coming, Jets coming, etc. Period. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it. We are there. Thank everyone for tuning in for another Jets episode of the Knicks Jets Etc. podcast. We out.
Let's go Jets. Jets. Jets.